Hello and welcome to the Bodyholic mobility drills. Today we're going to be very focused on the wrists and the hip joints. So coming onto all fours, keeping the hands really flat on the floor, we're going to go into the cat camel. What I want you to do here is really go as deep as you can into the convex and as deep as you can into the concave. And then we're going to start drawing circles on all fours with our body, really focused on keeping the hands flat on the floor so that we can really work on the mobility of our wrists. So we're going to go for about 3 or 4 to one direction and then 3 or 4 to the other direction. And then we're going to pause center and return to the cat camel, going a little bit deeper into the concave, then deeper into the convex. And now we're going to go back into the circles, but we're going to go for alternating directions. So one circle through the right and then the other through the left, keeping the hands flat on the floor so that you are very focused on the wrist mobility. Next, we're going to come onto the tabletop once again and into shoulder circles, just like you would do if your hands weren't flat on the floor, rolling the shoulders up to the ears and then away. And then from here, let's go deeper into the wrist mobility. So we're going to go into a reverse plank or a tabletop position with the fingers pointing towards us and the hands flat on the floor. We exhale to lift the butt up, and then we slowly lower down. Now we're going to turn the fingers to point away from us. Inhale here. And exhale, lift the tailbone up, squeezing the glutes. For me, it's actually a little bit more challenging, this position, so I go up a little bit less than I do with the other direction. And once again, we're going to turn the hands so that the fingers are once again pointing towards us, and we lift the butt up. We want to keep about a fist distance between chin and chest, and we slowly lower back down. Once again, we're going to rotate the palms, do it very gently, very carefully, lifting the butt up, exhale, squeeze, and lower back down. Let's carry on. We're going to turn and rotate the hands once again to point towards us, and exhale, lift the tailbone, push out of the shoulders, make sure that you're not dipping the shoulder blades, and we lower back down. Very gently on the rotation out. Exhale, lift. And lower back down. See if you can increase the bridge. Once again, fingers pointing towards us. We lift the butt. Bring it back down. Rotate the palms, or rather the fingers to point away, keeping the palms flat on the floor. Lift the butt. And then from here, we release. We're going to move on now. So let's take a moment here just to sit nice and tall. And we're going to focus only on the wrists. So we're going to clasp our hands and interlace the fingers and press the forearms towards each other. So I'm just moving the wrists very gently forward and back, and then circling to one direction for 3 and the other for 3. And I'm keeping the range of motion relatively small because I do have sensitive wrists. And then I start flexing from side to side. Of course, if you have more of a range of motion than me, then go for it. For the forward, back, circles, and side to side. Excellent. We're going to gently release this position and move on to an L shape. Now, I'd like you to sit really tall, and you can also prop yourself up with blocks or a folded up towel. And we're going to straighten the legs, and we're going to make sure that the feet are pointed. We spend a lot of time flexing our feet, but here I want us to really point and focus in on that stretch. Now, I want you to flatten the hands on the ground. So the knees are super straight and the toes are super pointed. Your back should be elongated and your hands should be pressed into the ground. Now, you'll notice that I'm slightly walking my hands forward. And the reason is because the further forward I'm going to go, the harder it is to keep my back as elongated as possible, and the deeper the stretch is for the front part of the legs and the connection between the foot and the leg. Then I walk myself back up and I sit nice and tall, trying to keep my hands flat against the ground. I exhale to lift the legs up and I slowly lower them back down. Now, before we do this again, I want us to take a moment and straighten the left leg pointed and hug the right, and then do the same thing with the left. And now let's try to go again. So we point the toes. This time we're going to reach our arms forward, really folding over the legs, keeping the knees straight, and then come back up to that beautiful tall position, that L-shaped position, pressing your hands to the floor, walking the hands forward, keeping the palms flat on the floor, and then see if it's easier for you to walk forward a little bit more. Then come back to the position where your back is elongated and press the hands into the ground. See if you can lift the legs up as they are, and then slowly lower the legs back down. Once again, start bringing your hands forward into that forward fold stretch, keeping the toes pointed. From here, you're going to slowly rise up, once again thinking about pressing the palms into the ground. And once you feel that you're nice and steady here, bring the hands a little bit further forward, keeping your spine elongated. And then we go back, finding that steady point once again to perhaps even lift the legs again as they are. We slowly lower back down, and once again, hands forward into the forward fold, and maybe this time it's even a little bit more fluid as you go into the stretch. We walk the hands forward, or rather towards us, so we're nice and tall. And then once again, we're going to try to really stabilize and push the hands into the floor as we lift the legs up. Slowly lower down, disconnect the hands from the floor and reach forward, lengthening the spine, lengthening the fingertips, lengthening the toes, and again, walk your hands up, keeping them flat against the ground, and push into the floor. Make sure you can find that stable position as you lift the legs up as they are, and slowly lower back down into the forward fold, reaching your arms even further forward. See if you can flatten the knees and point those toes even further, and slowly walk your hands so that you're coming back up to the L shape, really pushing the hands into the floor. From here, we're going to flip on over and we're going to go into the side plank prep position. So we're going to have the left hand pressed into the ground and the left leg is going to be straight. And from here, we're going to have the right leg bent. The foot should be pressed into the ground and the right hand is pushing into the thigh. So I'm creating a deep spinal rotation here, trying to go even deeper. Notice that the outer part of the left foot is on the floor, and then I rotate into a deep lunge. Now, the front foot should be flat on the floor. So once you find a little bit more mobility there, bring the foot forward so that you can really dig the heel into the floor, and then start circling the knee around to one direction for 3 and then the other direction for 3. So there's a lot going on here on both hip joints. And now return to the starting position. So the right hand pushes into the thigh as you rotate, and the left hand is pressed into the ground. Once again, you're going to come into that deep lunge position. Make sure that you're pressing the front foot into the ground and go into those circles again, really moving into the hip joints. You can spend a little bit more time with one direction if you need it. Of course, just go with how you're feeling on those circles. And then once again, return to that beautiful rotation, making sure your right hand is pushing your thigh in towards the chest, exhaling to deepen the rotation, and then very gently return to that deep lunge position, circling around into the hip joint, moving the knee around ever so slightly and ever so gently. Wonderful. We're going to come back into the side position, the starting position on the same side. And we press the left hand into the floor as the right hand pushes into the thigh, and we rotate, 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 deepen, deepen. And we're going to go right over to the other side now for the same exercise. So the right hand now is pressed into the ground, and the left hand is going to really hug the left leg and really push towards the thigh. So I push the right hand into the floor to come out of the shoulder and shoulder blade. I rotate. And then from here, we flip over into the deep lunge. Remember, you can really take your time here on the first one. Make sure you're nice and deep, lifting the heel a little bit if you want, which is what I'm doing. And then I go into the full positioning with the circles to one direction and then to the other direction, really pushing the stabilizing hand into the ground. All right, back into the side or prep for side plank. We push the hand into the thigh, we rotate, make sure that both shoulders are pressed away from the ears. And then from here, once again, we're gonna rotate. And in the rotation, we're going to get into the deep circular movement for the knee, for the hip joint, with the strong stabilizing arm. And then take your time to once again go into the prep to side plank, the starting position. Pushing into the thigh, rotating. Beautiful. Let's move on and allow me to remove my socks. And from here, we're going to lie down on our back. And let's take our time here and really prepare for a little bit of spinal mobility. So we're going to have our legs straighten up, and you can do one leg at a time. Really take your time here, and then lift the legs up overhead if possible. And then as you slowly lower the legs down, you come into a deep squat position. Starting with the heels off the floor, then dig the heels into the floor and lift the butt up as you straighten the knees into a forward fold. Very carefully lower back down and take your time to go onto your back and into the rollover. From the rollover, we come up and make sure that you are really compact, lifting the heels up in the starting position for the squat. Then we lower the heels down, bracing your abdominals, and straighten the knees completely. A beautiful forward fold here. Now that I've gotten my socks off, let me take my sweatshirt off as I'm getting warmer by the minute, and we're going to continue with precisely the same spinal mobility drill. So we slowly lower down into the deep squat, bring the butt down, roll the legs over, tap the floor overhead if possible, and then with a super compact body, come up into that deep squat position with the heels off the ground, dig the heels into the ground then, and straighten all the way up. Tailbone goes up, chest goes down, we slowly lower and repeat. Wonderful, wonderful. Getting into the fold over stretch. And slowly back down. Controlling your way down. Tight abdominals. Roll it over. And here's the last time we're going to do this. We're going to come forward, super tight abs, lifting the heels up first. Then with the support of the arms on the floor, you bring the heels down and you fold over. Trying to really maintain the hands on the floor if possible. Beautiful. And then from here, just work your way into a seated position. All right. So we're going to go onto our knees. So you're sitting on your heels, and of course, if this is too much, you can also roll up a towel and maybe even place the towel between the butt and the heels. And then we're going to slide the right hand over to the side as much as we can, perhaps even bring the forearm down. We bring the left arm overhead, and then we want to lift the chest up a little bit towards the ceiling. And as we close, we come forward and around over to the other side. So we're now on our left arm, perhaps the forearm, and the right arm goes overhead as much as possible, and we lift the chest. The idea is to really maintain the right butt now against the heels as we stretch, and we go forward onto the other side. So as the left arm goes overhead, the left butt really presses down into the ground. And then once again, we're going to come on forward into a nice deep stretch forward and over to the other side with the left forearm on the ground. Arm goes overhead. Opening the chest and slowly moving forward. Let's stay forward just for a moment here and work your way up. Lovely. So we're going to now have a seat, and let's try to straighten the legs completely out to the side, moving the legs back a little bit. Now, if you're having trouble sitting upright, then please prop up the butt on a cushion or a folded up towel. I'm going to ask you to now point the toes and just get used to this pointed position with the legs straight out to the side. Just hold it here for another breath, getting used to this position before we actually start activating our back a little bit more and getting into the exercise. So now we bring the arms up overhead, maintaining a straight back. Staying as tall as you possibly can, pushing the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then we start bringing the hands forward as though the wall in front of you is pulling your fingertips and the chest bone forward. And then with straight active arms, we go back up to the tall position and we bring the arms out to the side. Now from here, we're going to kind of scrape the right foot so that we bring it towards us, bending the knee, and then we bring the knee towards the floor, keeping the arm straight out to the side. And now we're going to go for a little bit of a shift of the weight backwards. So it's as though someone is pulling our right arm towards them. Then we come back to center, and we slowly open up the knee once again and glide the leg back to the starting position. Our arms go up and then forward as though the wall in front of you is pulling you forward. We slowly come back up and open the arms to the side. Then from here, we're going to slide that left leg, keeping the foot flat on the floor first, and then we rotate a little bit to bring the knee down to the floor. Keeping the arms really strong, then we imagine someone pulling the left arm towards them, and then center and return, bringing the arms up and over, then forward. Now we're going to really try to flow from one move to the next now. Arms go back up, arms to the side, really active. Then the right leg folds, bends, and we shift towards the right. Return to center, open the leg, glide it back to the starting position. Arms up, forward. Arms up to the side. We glide the left leg, bending the knee. Little bit of a shift over to the left, return to the center, open the knee, glide the leg. Wonderful. Let's go again. Arms up, reach the arms forward. Bring them back up, reach the arms to the side as you glide the right leg, tilt and shift. Again, other side. Up and little shift. Center, up, and then from here, we're going to end the session with the arms coming forward, then place the hands on the elbows, let the head drop, relax. Thank you so much for joining me on today's mobility journey.